Hey guys, how's it going? Sandra here from Gitana Styling and the Fashion Entrepreneur Club. Welcome to episode number 50 of Fashionpreneur Talk with Gitana Styling podcast. I can't believe this is episode 50. I remember when I started inside my closet because it was the only place that was very quiet and wouldn't have the echo in the apartment that I was in, and it was just audio, and I was so scared. And now we have 50 episodes and so many amazing interviews. Of course, there's a lot of stuff we still need to improve, but woohoo for those 50 episodes. And thank you for joining me and listening because this is for you guys. So if you don't know me, my name is Sandra. I am a fashion stylist and a business consultant, and this podcast is about having genuine conversations about fashion entrepreneurship and getting your questions answered. If you have a question, please send them my way to info@gitanastyling.com. Gitana is Gitana, styling.com. I'll leave a link below for you in case you have a question, okay? Also, you can always find us inside our free Facebook group, Fashion Entrepreneur Club Hangout. In there, we share inspiration, support, and knowledge to build a successful fashion business. I always remind you guys that you can check out our Etsy store where you can find workbooks and planners to build a successful fashion business, and also our planner subscription where you get a planner subscription a month and you can start getting organized and focused in your fashion business. Now, today, like I mentioned, is episode 50, and the topic of this episode is how to be unstoppable. And it's kind of like a little bit of a personal development mindset kind of episode. And let me tell you how this happened. So I bumped into this book that I had for a while. I know it's an old one, okay? But I hadn't started it, I had it for a long time. I bumped into it, I know he came out with this book. This is Tony Robbins, Awaken The Giant Within, and he came up with it in the 90s, right? But I bumped into it again a few years ago, and I was like, oh, I never read that book. And whether you like Tony or not, you have to accept he has done amazing work. And not only has he maintained himself in time, he has grown so much. So he always gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and he accomplishes more and more goals. And he has a great record, okay? So we got to listen to what he says. I find him, I don't agree with everything, but there's things that really they touch me, and I think he seems genuine and he's doing great work. So I just wanted to share something with you that I read here in the book. And if you have read the book, please let me know below. Share your comments, your thoughts about it. I'm just starting out, but I did wanted to point out something he said here in the book. It's not going to be like a whole review of the book, none of that. We're just going to focus on 3 things that he shared here that I wanted to share with you today, which goes with this topic of how to be unstoppable. Because it's something that I see in him is that he's unstoppable. Whatever he says, like, I'm gonna have this dream, I have this goal, no matter what, it happens, right? And we know that he teaches people strategies, right, to get there, to make it possible. And in here he shares 3 steps that you really, really, really need to acquire and practice in order to reach your goals and maintain, like I said, those results. Okay, because sometimes we can reach those goals, but then if we go back to being the old kind of person, then we're gonna lose it. And that's what happens, right? When a lot of people, they win the lottery, or they inherit a business, or they start, they get a promotion that they're not prepared for, and then they waste the opportunity, right? Because they haven't changed. And like Jim Rohn says, if you want your things, your life to change, you have to change. So because the things around you can change, but if you don't change, if you don't elevate, if you don't get to that level, you're not going to be able to maintain it, right? So, okay, enough of this introduction. And let me just share with you, these 3 steps that he shares here, okay? And then we're going to do a little exercise to put this stuff into practice. So the first thing he says, when he decided, years ago to change his life when he got, sick of his life, and he's like, this cannot be my life. I need to do something else. The first thing he recommends and that he did is he raised his standards. Okay. So he grabbed a piece of paper and he wrote down the things that he's no longer accepting in his life, the things that he's no longer tolerating in his life, and he immediately raised his standards. So he says here, let me tell you. Yeah, so he made a list, okay, about the things he was not going to longer accept, the things he wasn't going to tolerate anymore, and what he wanted instead. Okay. So the second thing was you have to change your limiting beliefs. That's the second step. So once you have decided, okay, I'm not tolerating this, I'm not accepting this in my life anymore, I want this instead, right? We have to change our limiting beliefs, because if we don't believe that we can make those changes, what happens is we sabotage ourselves, because we know that we're not going to achieve it. And that's what happened when people diet, right? They do it a few days, but then they start messing up and they start like, it doesn't matter, I'm gonna eat the sweets, or I'm going to have the soft drink, or whatever. And it's because they know, or they think deep inside, that they're not going to make it through, that they're not going to get through the threshold, that they're not going to achieve that goal. Because when you really believe you achieve the goal, then the conviction comes in, and then you can actually take action. Okay. So I feel a lot of people, right, myself included at times, right, we get stuck in there because we really want to do something. And I'm doing all of this talking about business today, of course, but you can apply it to anything in life, right? But if you really don't believe you can make it happen, you're not going to continue doing it. Okay. And that's something that it's in the back of our minds, right? Sometimes it's there like very clearly, but a lot of times it's in the back of our minds, right? We really don't believe. So he says the second thing you really have to do, once you raise those standards and once you decide, okay, this is what I want instead, you really, really, really have to work on that belief. Okay. And he says this, if you, he says, if you raise your standards, but you don't really believe you can meet them, you have already sabotaged yourself. You won't even try. You'll be lacking that sense of certainty that allows you to tap the deepest capacity that's within you. So he believes that we have that capacity to make it happen, right? And if we don't believe it, then we cannot tap into it. So listen to that, okay? You won't even try. You'll be lacking that sense of certainty that allows you to tap the deepest capacity that's within you. So you need that certainty, okay, to be able to tap into that talent that you have. So if you really don't think you can make it through the goal, you're not going to do anything about it, and you're not going to be able to tap into that power that you have, right? Which is all about what he talks about, awaken the giant within. We do have that power. We came here perfectly capable, right, of achieving anything we want in life. We all can. And like they say, if you think it, you can achieve it, right? If you can actually see it, right? If other people also have made it, even if other people haven't made it, but you see it in your mind, you can make it happen. But you have to believe, because if you don't believe, that part of you, right, that holds that power, those ideas, that knowledge or whatever, that strength, right, you're not going to be able to use it because you don't believe. So you're the one blocking yourself, right? And then the third thing is change your strategy. And I love this one because it's so direct. Because the one with the beliefs, a lot of people say, oh, it's a little woo-woo. No, it's not woo-woo. But really, you really need it. But then when you are about to take the third step, which is change your strategy, it's so direct. Obviously, what you've been trying up till now is not working, right? If not, you wouldn't be watching this episode, you wouldn't pick up this book, you wouldn't be joining classes, because you would have already figured out, right? So you have to change the strategy. You have to, recognize what is it that you're doing and what needs to change and change it. Okay, because a lot of people, we just continue doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. And like we know, it's insanity. It's not going to happen, right? So how do you become unstoppable? Step number one, you raise your standards. Okay. Step number two, you change your limiting beliefs. Step number three, you change your strategy. So I want to invite you to take a little time right now or after watching this episode and grab a piece of paper and just write it down. Write it down. Number one, how are you going to raise your standards? Where are you right now in your business, in your goals, in how much you're making, in the products that you have, in the service that you deliver, how your website is designed, whatever it is, right? Write it down and be like, okay, I'm not accepting this anymore. I'm not tolerating this anymore. This has to change, and I'm going to raise my standards from now on, right? The person that I want to be has this kind of thing, this kind of thing, this kind of results, right? And then you have to really ask yourself, do I believe that I can make this happen? Do I really believe that I can reach that standard that I have set for myself? And if you don't, right, be honest, if you don't, then you have to start working on that mindset. You do, because if not, you're going to sabotage yourself and you're not going to make it happen. That's just the facts, right? Because if not, you would be already there, right? So, the second thing, go and check each of those items where you said, okay, this is how I'm raising my standard, and be like, okay, do I really believe I can get there? And if not, I need to work on my mindset. Okay. If you do, and you do believe that you can make it happen, you truly believe, are you having the conviction to start taking those actions? Okay. See yourself as you do the third step, which is change your strategy. You identify what's the strategy that you're using right now, and you say, okay, this one is not working. I'm going to change it. And when you change it, do you have the conviction, the strength of doing it? And if you don't, that tells you that you don't have the belief, okay? So take a little moment to do this. This is a super good exercise. And of course, in this book, he dives deep into all of these subjects, right? And he promises to give us all the different strategies, right, to make anything happen in your life or business, right? So if you want to pick up the book, Awaken The Giant Within, you can, on Amazon, whatever you want, they're everywhere, right? They're still very, people use it still, because the principles are the same. They still work, right? So I just wanted to really bring this to your attention, because why do we need to be unstoppable? We need to be unstoppable because that allows us to accomplish really any dream in life, in business. So it's not about, oh, I want to figure out how to build a membership, or how I create this course, or how do I sell my collection, or how I make it to Fashion Week, right? It's not about that. It's about completely changing who we are, stepping into the person that we need to be, into a person who believes in herself or himself, a person who really knows that they can make it happen, that really has the conviction to take the steps, that really joins the class or hires a mentor, or figures out the strategy to make it happen. Because then that way, you can do anything. You can write a book, you can give a webinar, you can put a webinar together, you can, launch your podcast, you can do whatever you want, right? Because those tools are going to be helpful in any and every area. There's people out there who are, teaching strategies, that they have the knowledge in the different projects that we want to embark on. And that's amazing. But we have to recognize, right, that we need the knowledge, but we need to believe in ourselves, and we need to raise those standards, right, and make that commitment. And what I found really fascinating is what he says, that really, if we don't believe, we don't get to tap into that power that it's within us to do all of this, okay? So let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. Let me know where you think you're missing a piece here. Is it you haven't raised your standards yet, and you're just doing the same old, and keeping yourself or your business small? Okay. Maybe you need more clients, or maybe you need to reach more people, or maybe you need to turn a product into an online product so you can reach more people and make more income. Like, where do you need to raise your standards? Number two, change your limiting beliefs. What belief do you need to change so you can tap into that power and have the conviction to do everything that you need to do daily, weekly, monthly, all the time? And number three, change your strategy. Is there a strategy that you need to change, and in what area, so you can make it happen? Let me know. Let me know what you guys think. And if you have any questions at all. I hope that this was helpful, guys. If I find something else super, I'm not gonna do a whole series about this, but I'm sure I'll find some good nuggets here that I will share with you guys. Again, I just want to thank you for being here today and for listening to the podcast and participating. I'm gonna leave all the links that I shared before below for you, so you can check all the resources out. And yeah, I just want to wish you a wonderful rest of your week, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Okay, bye guys.